So at this point in the season, we know that Man City do not fumble, right? Man City do not mess around, and Arsenal have just messed it up for themselves. They had an opportunity, they had a lead, but I don't think Arsenal, to be honest, is going to win the league this season. Not this season. Maybe another season, but definitely not this season. All right. Because I know one thing about City is once they start coming at you like that, and at this time of the season, City does not make the mistake. We're winning all of these games, bro. I'm telling you, the remaining games, all of them are going to be W's. And if you really, really think about it, right? If you think about it, last season City were not at their best. I'd say City were probably at their worst under Guardiola, and nothing was just working out. The defense was just like an open case. Anyone could just do whatever they wanted to do, man. Like whoever wanted to score a goal, whatever teams wanted to do, basically, they just play the ball over the top, and that's it. Our defense was over. It's a goal. So last, if you think about the last season, City were not at their best, right? At some point, there were talks that City might not make it into the Champions League, right? Might not get a Champions League spot, but look what happened, right? Came this time of the season, everybody locked in, and regardless of how affected our team was, I mean, Rodri wasn't there. Most of our defense wasn't there. Kyle Walker had just left, right? We really weren't a structured team, and we ended up having to go play Mateus Nunes in right back, which he's now doing a fantastic job. I think he's one of the best literal right backs in the world right now. He's I don't, like there's very few people who can do a better job than him than what he's been doing right now. He's had a significant impact. I think is one of the best players in the CC squad that we've seen this season. Right, we can't argue against that. It's kind of like it's kind of like Szoboszlai for Liverpool, right? But that's a different thing. But yeah, you get where I'm going with this. It's not something you were expecting or someone to play the position that they were expected to, but they both like literally doing very well in those positions. But regardless of all of those challenges, right, City pulled through in the final moments and we got a Champions League spot. And it's just something that has been a trend with us. It seems when we get to this time of the season, and since Guardiola has been with us, we just lock in and it's all about winning games. It's not a matter of play style or anything anymore. It's just focus on winning the game that we're playing at that moment and at that time. And that's what champions are made of, right? And at the moment, Arsenal just don't have that, right? They don't have the backing that City has. I mean, for the past 10 years, if you look at the past 10 years, City has won like probably more have won the league for most of for the past 10 seasons. If you look at the past 10 seasons, City have won most of those 10 seasons, right? They've won almost all of those, right? Obviously leaving two for Liverpool, and yeah, there was just that maybe, and one for Chelsea, I think. Right, it was just two leagues for Liverpool, and that was that. Otherwise, it was just Man City all the way. So if you think about it, City always have this winning mentality. I mean, it's a fresh thing, it's a recent thing. It just happened, right? Not to say that Arsenal don't have trophies, they do, but it's been a while since they've won the Premier League, right? It's been a really, really long time. I mean, the last time they won the Premier League was when? Bro, it's been such a long time that I actually had to go out and Google, bro. It was in 2003, 2004, right? That's like, bro, that's quite literally like over 26 years ago, 20, whatever, 20 something years ago, right? That's over 20 years ago that the last time Arsenal won the Premier League. That was in 2003, 2004 season, right? And they've just been coming close to it for the past season. So obviously that spirit isn't there, and you can see it in the defenders. If you saw the Wolves game in that 2-2 draw against Wolves, you would see Gabriel just like hit the smack the ground. You could see the look on the players' faces that they look defeated. They look like they've just lost it all at that point. That's an opposite attitude and mindset to what City have now. With City, it's a has-been type of thing. So what I've noticed with Arsenal is in the first half the team will play well. Arsenal will play well. As soon as they score a goal or two, you'll see them start to fall back. You'll see them start to relax. They don't press as much, right? They don't move as forward with as much aggression as they normally do. They start to like doubt themselves. It's as if they enter a state where they just want to keep the score as is and not necessarily focus on winning the game, but rather just keeping the score as is, which is different from winning the game because it's a completely different attitude, right? You don't make the same type of tackle, you don't make it with the same energy if you coming across with a a keeping the score clear mentality. You know, you have a lot of doubt. Should I attack now? Maybe let me hold back. Right. But if your mentality is to win the game, you go in to the tackle with I am walking out of this with the ball, no matter what. This person is not getting past me. Right. That's the difference and the significant difference in mentality. And that's why when City start coming at you with that type of pressure, you know you're in danger. It's time for you, my brother. You are done. That's why in this season, I am 100% sure that City are going to win the league. Now, I know it's not a, would be unadvisable for you to put your faith on everything, but I'm a big City fan and I know my team. I know the attitude we have, and I know we're going to make sure we win all these games. Right? We're going to win every single one of these games, bro. We've just brought in McGee, right? McGee is doing a fantastic job and he scored himself a goal as well. Right? And he just came in. McGee is already leading the defense. We also have Kusanov, who's now improved in form. His passing is something I thought would take at least like two more seasons for it to get to where it is, but it has significantly improved. Like I'm seeing him create chances from defense, right? From a point where he's defending and he just throws a long ball over, and here's Mamouche on the way. Unfortunately, last time that happened, Mamouche was offside, scored an amazing first time shot, by the way. Would have been an amazing assist by Kusa, and also an amazing goal by Mamouche, potentially goal of the season contender. All right, but yeah, that didn't happen. It was offside, unfortunately, and got ruled out. So, damn, that sucks. But regardless, and not just in defense, right? Defense might be terrifying, but when you actually start thinking of our midfield now, Rodri's back. You can see he's getting back in form. He's making some super fantastic defense interceptions and tackles, and he's just running the game, and he's running the game, and you can see that clearly. The you can see that an architect was missing, a pivot, a strong pivot was missing in the City side, right? But we've had Nico Gonzalez is also doing a good job, and Nico has been fantastic this season as well. I'd say he's also been one of our best players, right? There was some time where he needed to go off because he was injured, fortunately, but he was in really good form, and he was really going at it. And then we have Ryan Shirky right now, who's also creative and a different play style to what's expected, you know. And in forward we have players like Semenyo. Right, we've added Semenyo now, and Semenyo has, I mean, like he scored in almost every game he's played, basically. Right, he's contributed a goal in quite literally almost every game he's played since he came to City. Right, and we knew from him coming in that he is that type of a player that he's going to contribute a lot of goals. But he's also been contributing a lot in pressing, right? If you see the game against Salford, you will see how City's pressing style has significantly changed. It's significantly more aggressive now than it has been for most of the season. We're starting to press a little bit more now with a little bit more aggression, a little more energy, more commitment. Like that mentality I was talking about earlier on, that winner's mentality. That's what's been activated right now, where every single game needs to come out as a win. Right? Every single game needs to come out as a win. We have to make sure you're attacking the ball with a amount of certainty, right? You're very certain that you're walking out with the ball. They're not scoring this chance. I'm making this save if you're a goalkeeper. I'm making this block if you're a defender. I'm scoring this goal if you're an attacker. So everyone in the City side is just certain and sure about what they're doing, right? Because they're aiming to win. And they believe that they're going to win. And they are going to win. We're definitely winning this because of that attitude, right? And also because we've got like an amazing coach and some fantastic players as well. Because Pep Guardiola has done a really good job, even though there was like a little dip in form for last season and at some points the beginning of the season. Right, there was some inconsistencies. Sometimes it were good, sometimes were bad, and we've had issues. We've had issues with our defense being We've had issues recently with the first half going really well. It would be fantastic in the first half, and then the second half would start to struggle. Right, you'd see that in the past games. You see that with what happened with Liverpool. Right, we had some issues in the second half, some challenges, and we managed to walk out of it, courtesy of McGay to a significant extent, because McGay was making a lot of significant blocks there. He did an amazing job, right? So was Kusa as well. So was everyone who was playing basically, right? And Semenyo too. So yeah, and you're starting to see that trend change where our second halves are we lacking energy or aggression, right? What I saw in the most recent game against Salford in the FA Cup was that I think it was more of a strategic thing because the first half the players were quite aggressive, and in the second half you just see them relax and lay off. And players that are plan to play in the next games were then sent off. And your key players were sent off. Your key players were subbed out in the second half as well, just to give them some rest, and it makes a lot of sense. Were subbed off to give them some rest. Right, and that was intentionally done. Unlike the other moments where we would actually struggle, right? You could clearly see that we're trying, but we're struggling. The key players are there and they're being kept there, right? Pep, he'll make subs a little bit later in the game, and he does do that to try and win the game, but we still struggled. It was like a hustle for us to walk out of that game without losing points or having the opposition come back from 3 points behind, and next thing you know, the game ends and it's 3-3, right? So that's not the case now. Now things were more intentional, right? And in the past games that I've seen City start to balance a little bit in terms of that. And I think it's because of the mentality. Like I said, everyone has a certain level of assurance and willingness to give everything that they have in that game to make sure we walk out as the champions, right, at the end of the season, right? And that's what is carrying City like that, and that's what's going to help us win this league, because that's what champions are made of. Anyway, otherwise, if you enjoyed my videos, like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.